Hello and welcome. Now, for 2026, I am putting myself on a no buy year. I've successfully done 3 of these in the past, and my definition of success is not that I didn't buy anything, but actually that I managed to get through a whole year of recording everything and attempting to my best to try and stick to the rules, but also making mistakes along the way and hopefully learning and getting better through them. And I felt that like over the years I did get better at doing it. Even in the beginning, I broke it and bought like I think 50 something items in an over year, which doesn't make sense. But that's just the reality of where I was at, and I was trying to improve that. And then I thought I had a good grip on it, but also like life got in the way, and so I just kind of stopped doing it. But in 2025, I decided to track everything I spent money on again, even though I said, well, like I'm not doing a no buy, I'm just tracking. We buy what we want. Uh, that showed me that I still have the little troublesome monster of consumerism living within my being. And if I don't keep an eye on it, it will go out and spend my money unwillingly. Well, actually, probably very willingly. I was very much willingly participating in it, but just unconsciously on stuff. And so I spent over €1,000 on clothing last year, and that was enough to scare me into uh, changing my life, changing it up, doing it differently. And that involves for me a no buy year or trying to get back there. We're going to give you a little update for January and bring you along on my attempts to do some no buy activity again. And yeah, I just kind of missed YouTube. It's sort of nostalgic. It brings me a lot of joy. I really enjoy interacting and hearing how things are for other people in the comments if they're doing no buys and low buys. So even though I said goodbye in a classic goodbye video, which I have now hidden because it doesn't really make sense when you click on my channel and you're like, wait, she's making videos again, but she's also said goodbye. Well, such is life. And now we're going to continue on. So I very much appreciate if you're still here and still watching my channel. Thank you so much for bearing with me in the ups and downs that is my life. So let's talk about January. I have spent a total of 572 franc and 14 rappen on my bills. The majority of that is my rent, obviously. I spent 455 franc per month on rent. I am very lucky because I'm in a student kind of accommodation situation, and also, well, it's not really a student accommodation. Basically, me and my housemate both work for an organization that owns this place. And my housemate pays more because she's she's a full-time employed person. I am just a cleaning lady that works I think I work 9 to 10 hours a week. And because of that, we get to live in this place that's just cheaper because of the work association thing. I don't know if you need this much information, but essentially, usually rent isn't that cheap in Switzerland unless you're in a VG with lots of other students. It can be quite expensive, but we don't live in the middle of a city. We live more in a smaller town, and it is just cheaper. The next area I also have is my health insurance. I think that's about 70-ish franc each month, and my phone bill as well is about 27 franc, give or take. And then every now and again, we will get an extra random bill because even though we don't have a TV or internet or phone or anything of that kind, we still have to pay the bill for it, for like the possibility or the service to have it or something like this every year. So then we get a random bill for like 300 something franc just for that thing that we don't use. So sometimes that's a little bit more because of those random bills that we don't see coming and then just appear. The next area was groceries. I spent 461 franc and 65 cents. I sometimes go shopping in Germany, which is why I think this month it was so expensive, because when I go to Germany, I do like a massive shop and I bulk buy like a lot of my dry goods. So I spent over €270 on this big shop, and unfortunately I am gluten free, which makes life more expensive. I love my beautiful father and I'm very grateful for the hair he gave me, but I'm not grateful for the fact that he did pass down remnants of his celiac disease. So it just does cost me more money to eat pasta and some of those things. So that's partly why the groceries are so expensive, because I still have them left over in my cupboard now, and that will last me a good month. Like, last me usually good 2, sometimes if we're lucky 3 months. And then there was also just other normal grocery shopping, and groceries are quite expensive in Switzerland. Like, I'll go and get like 4 things and it will cost me over 20 franc. So that's just how it is. This is future editing me just popping in to correct myself. So I forgot to take out the cost of like my replacement toiletries out of my big shop when I went to Germany. So instead of spending 270, I think I spent 250 or 249. I will put the number on the screen. I actually forgot to write that down. And I did get a few things. So I got a replacement toothpaste, which is this one. It's quite reasonable considering it's like all natural and good ingredients. It was, I think, $3.45, something like this, but I do really like that one. Toothpaste is essential. I will give myself that. The next is then I got 2 of the replacements of my favorite lip balm. I basically love this stuff. I've been dedicated since I was a child, as my mother uses it as well. And although it's insane at like I think it's $9.50 a tube, I get this a bit cheaper with a student discount. I deem it essential, and I know it's essential to me because even though it costs that much, I'm still willing to purchase it. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really like done a no buys rules setup thing. Maybe I could make a video of that kind, but I'm replacing specific toiletry items that I do really get value out of and love in my life throughout my no buy, because otherwise it would make no sense to do a no buy and not use toothpaste. So anyway, now we can go back to the normal flow of this video. Sorry for my full laundry basket that I bet you didn't recognize until I pointed it out to you. Bye bye. The next area was travel/trains, but this month I was lucky because my housemate went away and she left me with her car, and so I drove her car around. I went on a few little adventures. I went for a very nice hike in the mountains, and it meant that like I just filled up her car at the end, and it cost me 30 franc. So that was my full travel for the month. The next area was experiences. I went to a performance. Don't remember what the performance was now. That's not necessarily a great sign. And then I spent €27 to go to some thermal baths with some friends. This was super, super nice. I really enjoyed it. Being in the baths and then just like sweating away my troubles in the sauna. That is something I would definitely do again. And for me, like on a no buy, I don't mind a few experiences because I think that's really important because of how I am. Why is it important? Just because for me it is important because of how I am. Like, yeah, I want to have some experiences within my no buy challenge. I don't want to stop everything. I know some people go and they literally just only buy the essentials that I need or that they need, but I feel like I need a couple of flexible, still want to enjoy life a bit more situation. But what I am trying to do a no buy on is like anything physical material that isn't like really a necessity or like a necessary or a necessity or a necessary replacement of something that has broken or needs replacing in my life. And then the next thing, and I would have been doing quite well on my challenge in terms of the finances, although I'd spent maybe a bit too much on groceries, but then I did buy a ticket to New York City for 454 franc and 45 rappen, although I think 30 something of that was for the ESTA, because, and that's going to be an expensive purchase, my Australian passport has expired that has an ESTA, or not, it hasn't expired yet, but it's expiring soon, and you need 6 months, I think, to enter a country. And it has an ESTA on it, but because it has a 6-month thing, I had to get another one for my British passport so I can travel on that to New York. Anyway, basically, I'm going to New York because I want to, or like I do need to do a practicum for school where I go to like a Waldorf school and then I get an opportunity to teach some of this. Like, you're with me, that's this movement that I am studying, or like this form of movement. I have done it the last 2 years in German, in the German speaking language, but my German is really not very good. And so I really struggle because I spend most of my time concerned or worrying or thinking about that. And then therefore I don't really get to enjoy the teaching experience or like being around the kids because I feel really awkward and uncomfortable because I can't even speak to them properly. And so I thought it would be nice to have that experience in English for once. And I love New York. I used to live there and I have some nice good friends that I'm looking forward to visiting, and as well as my godson. So I think it's just a good excuse to go. And yay, I booked that ticket. So that, I guess you could be like, that's breaking your no, but I feel like it's just a part of the natural flow of what I want to do with my life. And yes, it's a bit expensive, but it's okay. So for the total of how much I spent in January was 1,565 franc and 24 rappen. Yeah, if anyone watching from like America or I don't know, Europe or whatever, like the franc is about the same as a dollar, give or take 10, maybe sometimes 20 cents. So that might give you a sense of it. And it's very close to the euro. They're usually very, very near each other. And I've been debating whether or not I want to share my income in these updates because for the first time, well, it's not for the first time, basically since I moved to Switzerland, I've never been able to make in a month what I spend. So I've always been living well above my means and I have been spending my savings, which for me is quite a strange experience because since I got my first job when I was 16, I've basically always been able to save somehow, even if when I was volunteering and I was only getting 200 a month for volunteer money, but like all the basic needs were met, I was still able to save something. And now I'm in the position, or I have been for the last 3 years, where I've always been spending my savings. Very grateful that I have it. Only reason I have it is actually thanks to COVID because everything shut down and I just continued to work and I couldn't spend my money, and so I saved a lot of money, and I was also on a no buy year that year. But yeah, it just feels a bit strange. So I don't know, it's like I'm a bit embarrassed by it in some way because yeah, like in Switzerland you can as a student work 15 hours a week. And so you could make relatively good money for sure if you were getting paid a good hourly wage, but because my German is not very strong, I work as a cleaning lady. So I get paid like 21 an hour when I'm working for the organization. If I work privately, then I can get a little bit more. And so that means I don't make a lot sometimes. And the money that I have like from the organization for January, or like I was paid in January, is actually from the hours of December. In December, I was away a bit, so it's like a lot less. But I don't know. Basically, I spent over 1,500 on my expenses, but I made less than 500, if that makes sense. And some months it's better, and some months it's worse. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Maybe I will share it, but maybe I won't. I haven't made the decision, so I'm just going to put this here and then we will see how it goes in the future. Because for me as well, like my focus is my studies. It's not making money. It can't be making money at the moment because I don't have the time. I'm also limited by contracts and I'm limited by being in a country where the skills I have are not translatable because of a language barrier. Yeah, I don't know, it's just part of it. And actually, honestly, I love cleaning. I really love the job. I wish it paid me more, but I actually really love it. I find it really peaceful and like really nice to like make spaces clean. I enjoy cleaning my own space, so I do like the work. It's not about that. I'm not at all embarrassed to be cleaning. I'm more just embarrassed that I'm not, it's not very inspirational. I guess when you share things online, you want to try and show that like, oh yeah, you can save in any situation, stuff like that. Or like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it and being too critical of myself, but that's just the thought I have for now. Maybe I will change it. Maybe you can share with me what you think in the comments below. So that was January's little update, and it was a successful month because I didn't buy anything that I didn't mostly need, and I bought some little splurges. They were fun splurges and will be a trip to New York City, so I'm very happy about that. And yeah, that's also another thing. It's like, well, okay, so you're not making much money, but you're still booking tickets to New York. It's like, yeah, but I'm doing that. You know, like, I don't know. it's a weird dialogue, and maybe I should get more clear about that before making videos and putting it online. But I haven't. So there you go. There's my inner monologue with myself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're doing very well. And if you are still here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Okay, bye.